Hello, this is my first project for the business of art with Professor Rebecca Huebner, and this is my promotional object that I've done. So overall, this project was aimed to create a professional and promotional asset for each student in their professional endeavors. With that being said, I chose to create a greeting card, more specifically a thank you card, um, in which I can send out to mentors who I meet with or prospective employers or professionals who I meet, um, mainly just to serve as a follow-up gesture, to say my thanks for meeting with me. And yeah, here's a little bit of a mood board. I just looked up other thank you cards or greeting cards. I'm largely inspired by typography, and these images in the upper and bottom corners are more about color palette. Having come from the East Coast, I'm largely inspired by sand and sea, so more natural and muted tones. So for my competitive analysis, I looked up other local Denver designers. So the first one, Adam Vickerel, I actually reached out to him in my thesis class to meet with him as a design and media expert. He works in branding and other packaging design in Denver. Allison Heiston Phelps is an illustrative designer. She graduated from the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, and she now works for the Denver Film Association as a designer. Fatima Knight recently got hired by the Denvers to do their sports design. And I like her work a lot, and her website's very professional and it has a nice flow to it. And then Kat Cafaro, I like her work very much. It's very minimalist and designed very well, which I appreciate. And she has a lot of typography in her work, which I love and try to emulate in my own work. So in terms of audience, again, I hope for my asset to serve for other design professionals and employers. Again, I want this to express my thanks after meeting with me, or yeah. Uh, as well as that, I want my card to exude and represent me as a designer and my personality. Um, I enjoy minimalism, mainly because it allows the viewer to focus on the typography and the composition of the work, um, much like Bauhaus artists were doing at their time. So the primary tactic would be to self-promote myself and my website. And through that, just search engine optimization. The website that I use right now is through Wix, and you can enter keywords so that SEO works in my favor for my site. And then my secondary tactic would be my logo, which I've developed a preliminary version here. I made this for my social media account, um, and I quite like this logo because I designed this typeface myself for my typography class, and I think it's very playful, and I like to represent the typeface that I made. So as far as contacts go, I tried to look at um, local advisory board members and creative directors in Denver. So David Smale is the first one I found. He is on the board of the One Club, which is a creative group in Denver, which helps with networking and mentorship. And Kara Taylor is also on that board, and she also is a director of the FBI Talent Co., which is another company that helps creatives get networking and jobs. Heather Vanesco is also on that board, but she has also founded the Denver Ad School, which helps local creatives learn how to market themselves and become more hireable. Katie Gelfand is a graduate of that school and has been hired by a large advertising agency in San Francisco. So I figured she would be a good point of contact. Travis Ledoux is the principal designer and founder of Mass Studios in Denver. I really love their work. I've been following them for years. So I figured he was a great contact because not only has he been a designer on his own and worked for other companies, but he has now started his own studio. And then Daisy Corso is the current president of the AIGA chapter for Colorado. And she's also worked for Art House Design, which is another design firm in Denver who I've looked at for years. So this is my prototype. I didn't do a physical print of them just because I didn't have time or money, but I did a digital mock-up here. So just a very simple card design, just a thank you, and then a small message saying thank you for meeting with me. I really appreciate your time and insight. And then I sign off on it there, and then just a blank envelope with my my website on it. So to print these cards, as you saw through the gotprint.com website, it would be $23.76 for 100 cards on 100-pound recycled matte paper. And then should it be successful and I want to print more, 250 cards would be $29.76. The alternate to printing these cards that I design digitally would be to make my own cards, which I would want to do with Linocut, and then printing them onto cards to handwrite messages and send them out from there. So to do that, going to the local Meiningers art store, it would be about $46.86 for all of the printmaking materials, and then a pack of cards from Amazon.com. So the overall goal would be to increase my recognition and memorability as a designer for myself. By including the URL on the envelope, I would hope for that to increase visitation to my website for those who I send it out to, and then for them to pass it along to fellow designers and coworkers that they have. So I would hope for that to increase my website viewership by 10% by the end of my senior year here. And then post-graduation, I keep sending those out, obviously, to prospective employers, hopefully to 20 or 30 of them, which I hope to increase my viewership to another 10%. So hopefully in the next year, increase viewership to my site by about 20%. And then overall objectives, I aim to join the Colorado AIGA chapter, go on meetup.com and see if there's any creative meetup meetings in Denver. And then also I was told that just dropping by local design studios and dropping off my business card is always a good way to just get your name out there. And that was it. Thank you so much for viewing my project. Have a great one.